Welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the vlog. Today you join me on the 2nd of January. So Happy New Year to you. Hope you had a very, very good Christmas and you've had a lot of good festivities. Now it's time to get out and try and burn off those calories. I'm out trying to find new locations to scout for the next set of lockdown that we're going into here in Ireland for 2021. Because in Ireland we're back into lockdown 4.0 at the moment. And I'm sure you're probably sick of all these 2020 review videos, but I'm going to do what I normally do, is not do a review video, but actually look back at the year and see what I've learned and see what 2020 has taught me. 2020 has been an absolute shitstorm of a year. And you know, I think 12 months ago when I did this last video, little did I think that the entire world would be turned upside down and that travel would be gone, social distancing would now be a staple word that we'd use every day. And photography for me has changed quite a lot over the last number of months, and it's forced me to think differently, to kind of go outside my comfort zone as well, and you know, try and find ways to keep myself busy and keep myself progressing in my own photography journey. But that's not a bad thing, that's a good thing, because I think, you know, I have learned a number of different things this year in photography, so it has helped me in that. Guys, I still managed to get 52 vlogs out over the course of the year, so I'm really happy and proud of that achievement. Even with the lockdowns, it did force me to think differently. And again, now looking forward into 2021 to see what I can kind of continue with that and, you know, more or less learn and get better at what I do and everything that I do each step of the way. I'd like to thank everybody for all of your support, watching, liking, comments, subscribing, even the new people that have come along recently. Welcome, thank you very much for joining. And if you're not already subscribed, now would be a pretty good time to actually hit that subscribe button. So yeah, go hit it before we go on. Go on. Just like I did last year, what I'd like to do this year is look back at 2020. It wasn't as bad as everybody would make it out to be when you kind of look for the positives and put them all together. So for me, I'm going to look and see what has 2020 taught me. I travelled to the stunning Dolomites in Italy with a fantastic bunch of people. And if I'd had known that it would have been my last international trip of the year, perhaps I would have done it differently. I would have had that extra local pasta, drank a few more local drinks, or perhaps even ride that deadly sleigh one more time. What I have learned is that when we can safely travel back to these stunning places, I think I'm going to immerse myself even more. You know, in photography, it's a really serious game. So when you can find some time to have some fun, you definitely make fun. So what we're doing right now is, as you can see with Dermot, we have one of these sleds, so we're going to go back down the hill, but we're going to go back down the hill in style. And you know what, I'll take you guys with me, so let's go. We'll have some fun going down this. Hopefully we don't crash. So apparently we're having a race now. Yeah, so Dermot's over here, Bernard is behind us, and I think to start off, really you just got to kick off and you got to hope for the best. So yeah, you ready to go? 3, 2, 1. What you see on Dermot's face was pure joy. Me, on the other hand, is sheer fear. Fear that Patrick seemed to appear out of nowhere and I was hurtling towards him, out of control. Luckily, I missed him by centimetres and he survived to capture this. While locked up at home in the peak of lockdown, I found myself having to think outside the box more and find ways to stay creative. Now that very achievement of not missing a week was the one thing that forced me out of my comfort zone and into a world that wasn't ISO 100 F11, and even tried to capture Earthshine, SpaceX, International Space Station, and all from my back garden, where I had the comfort of hot and cold drinks on tap and all of my creature comforts just a few steps away.
Try and catch one of those wasps in motion or in movement. So I'm going to continue to use the 70-200, going to be at 200, going to be at F4, and I'm going to try and get the focus on this wasp as it's flying in front of me. They do seem to be hovering as well, so I might get lucky. I'm going to shoot it with this wall behind me here. So the dark fence is going to be lovely from a contrast point of view. The light coming down the top as well hopefully will light up the top of the Wasp. Most importantly, the hardest part will be to get it in focus. It's going to be an extremely fast shutter speed, probably up around about 1/2000 a second once again, but we'll see how I get on with that anyway. So.
My longing for the sea, the lakes, the woods, waterfalls, cliffs and mountains of Ireland never once waned during lockdown. And rather than feel hard done by, I decided to embrace it and go explore my local area more, to see what I could find. And while in my local woods I may not have been blown away by the award-winning vistas, I was however drawn inwards as the woods revealed more compositions each time I visited. Part of me thinks it was the conditions, but another part of me thinks it was me getting better at a scene and finding those compositions each time. Having killed my drone after an incredible 6-foot drop in the Dolomites, I decided that I would go without, and even travelled Donegal with my good friend Darren O'Donovan, and never missed it once. However, during lockdown, the draw of gas got too strong, and I again jumped in the saddle. However, it wasn't until the end of the first lockdown that my decision really came home, after I found that I missed it so much after discovering the incredible coastlines of Ireland from the air. And now I use my drone for nearly every shoot.
You go somewhere, he stands beside you, and then he says, "You stole my shot." It's so.
I've had a firm belief for a while now that there is no such thing as bad conditions in landscape photography. There's always a shot. Now granted, it may not be the banger it could be, but sometimes it can still be a shot that can show what's possible from a composition. This is true unless conditions must be bad for the shot to be great. This very thing happened to me twice this year, and on both occasions any sane person would wonder what the hell are you doing out there, and what would these conditions be conducive to photography? But it's these very moments that when the light breaks through or a wave crashes that it can make the shot something it could never be without it.
They don't call it the Wild Atlantic Way for nothing. Look behind me here, look at these conditions, it is incredible. I've been here before, this is Clogher Beach. and it's unbelievably dangerous at normal times. But look at it now, look what's coming through. And look at the size of those waves that are coming in. I really don't know if you can hear me or not because the wind is so strong, but I'm going to give it a go anyway. Incredible conditions here at Clogher, and extremely hard as well to take a photograph. You know, it's a red warning now, just got an update there on the news. So yeah, we're in the mix of it now, but my God, look at it!
Probably the biggest thing that 2020 has taught me is that we are social creatures. And while it is true that I avoided people at many times during this year, and for valid reasons, I also missed the social interaction of photography that I've grown to love over the years. That for me is most of the feeling. People are what make the memories for me more than the photo, and it's the sharing of the adventures and the laughs and the jokes that you shared with old friends and many new friends that you've met along the way that for me is most of the feeling.
But it's never the same. I guess I kinda love the way you help me escape. Though the day bleeds into nightfall, and you know it is to leave me through it all. I let my guard down, and then you pulled the rug. I was getting kinda used to being someone you love.
My song for Milo.
And I was trying to close my eyes when it hurts. Sometimes I got to hold her. Anytime the sun goes.
That could have made a good funny video.
I've been very lucky also with the Irish Photography Podcast to have interviewed and chatted with many great photographers and creators in 2020, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where that takes me in 2021.
Well, I was thinking, I sent Adam a message the other day, but he never replied, so I was thinking we should go out and do like a vlog together, but we'd stay like 100 feet apart at all times, and we'd like just shout to one another from the other side of a river and try and put together comedy skits from a great distance and see how weird and awkward it is. In fact, our very first silly scene that we ever did was we were about 80 feet apart. So
that's right. We were, weren't we?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
we cannot put on the video of this at all. Those hand gestures were shockingly
Darren,
bad.
can you do a zoom in on that when he does that, and then just like repeat it to some music? I'll give you my theme tune. You just sync it up.
I'm so sorry.
I hope you've enjoyed that. It was quite an interesting year for me, and it was good to put the whole lot of that back together. I've just been looking around this woods here now, and okay, it's actually very green, which is surprising, so it must be very damp. It must be a very moss-laden wood, but maybe I'll come back here again. So yeah, thank you very, very much for joining me on this episode, and in fact for the entire year. Thank you very much for your support. Thanks for all the new subscribers that I've gained, the comments, the likes, all the love that I received over 2020. I'm looking forward now to going into 21, see what it brings to us, and ultimately, see how, like I said earlier, how I can improve in my photography. So if it's your first time on the channel, please do hit that subscribe button, give me a like, give me a comment, and until the next time, slán go fóill.